And welcome back to the Adric cast. Unfortunately, we haven't stopped doing it yet. This is the Pepsi Max of Doctor Who podcasts, because even though it's not the most popular, we all know it is the best. Actually, that's a good
Sure.
reference.
Yeah. It's brilliant. Oh, God.
Today, we're going to be talking about Rosa.
Hmm.
Rosa, Rosa, Rosa.
Oh,
There's another
God.
reference.
Okay. What's happening? Oh,
Do you not get my reference?
no, I don't know what you're saying.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, I haven't. No, I don't.
You never
No.
watched it?
No.
Oh,
So I don't like the man in it. We've definitely had this conversation.
what man don't you like?
The
Terry
main
Crews?
man. I don't know. Is he? No, he's not the.
Can't
He's.
can't not like Terry Crews.
I don't know who that is, really.
Big, muscular man with
He's the
goatee beard,
policeman, yeah.
bald. He is a policeman in it. I'm trying to think of things Terry Crews was in, that you might have seen, because I
I
don't
feel
think
like
you've
I
seen, like
definitely recognise the name.
you would recognize him. He did the Old Spice adverts, I think.
Sorry? What?
Old Spice adverts.
No. No.
You know, we've already gone way off topic already. Um,
Haven't
but
even
yeah, today we're going to be
introduced
talking about.
ourselves.
We haven't even introduced.
We're already just talking shit. Oh,
What's
God.
the point? My name is Gregor.
And my name is Janey.
There we go.
There we
Uh,
go. Now we can talk
very,
shit to our
very
heart's
talk shit.
content.
That's what it's all about. Yeah, we're going to talk about episode 3 of series 11 slash
Mhm.
season. Uh, Christ.
Work it out quickly,
Slash.
quickly.
I could work it out. Give
You've
me a
got to, you've got
second.
to.
36. Season
Brilliant.
36 of
Brilliant.
Doctor Who.
Brilliant. There we
Series
go.
11. Um, I must confess, this particular series of the program, at least New Who, is my least favorite season of the show. But
Yeah, it's not a
this
great
episode,
one.
this episode, um, I feel is pretty good as a standalone, uh,
Mm.
which is one of the reasons why we picked it. I think. Though I should add, when I was watching this story, I did realize that it kind of melds with current affairs a bit and what's going on in the world
Mm.
right now.
Yeah.
Um, which I suppose it was back when it came out as well, but especially now.
Mm.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, we picked this because
What
it
a
was
great,
chosen.
great time. Yeah.
It was chosen a few weeks ago. Though we didn't choose. We didn't see the riots and like we got to do roasts.
Yeah. Oh, God, can you imagine?
Yeah,
No, we didn't.
we did not do that.
Oh, what
This was picked.
awful, awful time to be alive.
I
Sorry. That was really depressing.
It's
Oh, I'm
just
so
very
sorry.
depressing, especially considering this episode is about rising up
Yes.
and opposing the negativity and
Oh, it's a lovely message.
lovely message. We'll explore it further um, later on. But first, the news. There hasn't been much going on in the news.
Nothing's happened.
Well, in terms like what's going on in the main show, we still have no fucking idea.
Nothing has happened.
It might come out in like April next year, next series, we think, maybe,
Oh, do we think?
possibly.
Wait, where have you heard this?
I can't remember where I heard it, but
Oh,
it's somewhere today.
somewhere on the internet. It must be true.
Somewhere on the internet, someone said that. Um, Big Finish have had a bit of a time because they
Oh,
started a new website and they fucked it up like
oh yeah, I
royally.
saw this.
The audios
Everyone
weren't
hates it.
stored properly on Big Finish. It took them about 3
Oh,
weeks to
wait,
get.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
they've
thought
had.
people were just grumpy because they didn't like the new look of it.
I think some people are gonna be, but no, they had some major technical issues that
Oh dear.
caused some grief.
That is not
Uh,
good.
and people getting, like, the wrong cover pictures for their audios and things like that as
Oh
well, I believe has been an issue. So,
gosh.
yeah, them at the moment, I wouldn't want to be in the Big Finish office. Things are probably very interesting there.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Also, they've been announcing, like, in the world of figures, they've been doing those, like, Titan vinyl figures. Got some of them coming out.
Yeah.
You
Do
sound really
you collect
enthusiastic about
those?
them.
Do you collect them at
I
all?
don't. I did try and get into them. Uh, a few years ago, I was in Forbidden Planet,
Hmm,
and I picked up one, and it was from the Series 7 range, and I was really wanting Zygon or a Wooden Cyberman was, like, one of the ones I was wanting,
right.
but I ended up with a Whisper Man. I'm like, "Okay, okay, fine, I got a
Wait, is it
Whisper
like a
Man."
lucky dip? Do you not
It
get
is,
did
you're
you
blind
don't
bag.
know which one you're getting?
You don't.
Oh
It's
my
like
that's
remember when you were in
ridiculous.
school and you get trading cards of Go-Go's and all those things? Uh,
I forgot Go-Go's were a thing. Oh, that's just unlocked memory.
there we go.
What did you do with them? I just collected them. Was there a game or something?
There might have been. I invented my own game with the Go and played it with other people.
Of course you did. Oh god,
Because they had,
okay.
like, a curve in the go for anyone
Yes.
who's uncultured,
I
the Go-Go's were like
remember.
little plastic monster things that you bought, uh, really cheap plastic, I
Yeah,
think,
really?
if memory serves, but they had, like, the little curve in the back of them. So, what we do
Yes.
is we'd line up the Go-Go's and we, like, flick them at each other,
Oh, right.
try and take
Maybe that was the
that
game.
could be what it was. I don't know, that was a guess by me, and everyone was like, "Yeah, I guess that makes sense." So
No
we
one knew. No one knew.
um, but yeah, they were like Go-Go's where you didn't know what ones you're gonna get, and I
Oh
got the Whisper Man,
god.
and
I
okay,
hate that.
I've not finished my story,
Oh,
Jamie.
I'm sorry. Go for it, go for it.
I got the Whisper Man, okay, fine. Maybe a year or so later, I was in Forbidden Planet in London, the big one,
Mm,
of which we all know.
yeah.
You know it.
I know it. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, we all love it. Um, but I got 2 more from that
Right,
range,
right,
and I got the War Doctor.
right.
That's okay, cool. And then I
That's
got
alright.
another Whisper Man. I'm like, "Oh,
I
for
knew
fuck's
that was
sake."
coming. I knew that was coming. Oh god. I
Fast
used to
forward
work
another
with
couple of
someone.
years,
Oh,
Janie.
did you get another
Story's
Whisper
not over.
Man?
I did. And then I stopped collecting them because I'm like, "I'm never gonna get anything other than
Wait,
fucking
so
Whisper
did you
Man."
get any more? Or have you literally just got the War Doctor and 3 Whisper Men?
I did get one more. Actually, no. Tell a lie. I got the Trenzalore TARDIS, which wasn't a blind bag. That was like a thing. Like it was its own thing, and it
Right.
was really big. And I thought it looked a bit cool. It was like all broken up and it had like little gravestones painted on the base to be like the
Right.
graveyard,
Nice.
which is cool. But then last year I went to the Doctor exhibition in Edinburgh, and they had some, and I got one, and it was Vincent Van Gogh. Uh,
Oh,
and
nice. Is that
we
one you
have
wanted?
he It was I didn't want a specific one, I just wanted something cool. I think the range had Delgado, I wanted Delgado, but I
Right.
got Van Gogh. They've both got nice beards either way. Uh, but Van Gogh
Very,
now lives
very
in the
similar.
kitchen.
Right.
Because I had my house was very empty for a very long time. It was just me during
Right.
this period, so I put Van Gogh in the kitchen, and he's still there. And I
Right.
don't think anyone's realised that a little Doctor Vincent Van Gogh is in the kitchen, but he kind of fits in with all the other tat that's in there, so that's where he
Nice.
is. Anyway, we've
Oh
got some of
god.
those coming out.
Is it
like a
just
bi-generation
the
set with
14th? Oh, is that all they've got coming out?
they've also got another couple. I think they've got 15 and Ruby Sunday, uh,
Right.
like in his Church and Ruby Road outfit, which is fine. I'd rather have the character options ones now, but
Oh god, it's always about the costume, isn't it? That always comes into it somehow.
no, 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 no,
It's not your
no, 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 no,
favourite.
no, no.
When they
The
bring
Church
out
and
the
Ruby Road's
one in his
fine.
yellow woolen coat, I'm
Oh
gonna buy
God
it.
Almighty,
I'm gonna buy it.
that'll be in the B&M bargain bin section.
I
Swear at
think
me.
everyone loves it. Everyone loves it, Gregor. Get over yourself.
Do you know how
Honestly.
much one of those jackets costs?
Probably like £1,000. I don't know how much.
It costs about 500 quid. And do you know that I actually have such a jacket in my possession?
Right.
In black, not in yellow.
Oh,
But I didn't
well, okay, well,
realise
it's not
that
the
I
same
have
then, is it?
it's not exactly the same, but I have the same make of jacket. Uh,
Right.
and then so this costume I've been complaining about.
So you've got the emo version
I've got the
of
emo version. It's quite good in the winter,
Brilliant.
actually. It does keep me toasty.
Does it?
Makes
Well,
me
that's
look
what
a
you
bit
want
like
when
the
you're on a
Grim
cliff
Reaper,
in
but
Wales.
I think most of the Doctor's jackets are good at keeping him warm.
Oh, Gregor, change the record.
Yeah, let's change the record. That's
It's a
pretty much
lovely
all we have
coat.
to
It's
cover
a lovely
in the
coat.
news is Big Finish website muck-ups and Titan
And these
vinyls.
little toys.
These little they're
Those,
collectors,
well,
I'll have
what?
you know.
Mm,
Even though they have Lego hands and
do they have like a
you've seen them. They have
Well,
like
I've
those
seen
little
them, but I
Lego
don't
ones.
really look at them because they don't interest me. Although the one note that I do have is I think Shooty's face on that is a tad too realistic compared to the other more cartoonish versions.
Well, no. The thing about
Right.
those vinyl figures is they have like cartoonish bodies and then
Right.
scarily realistic faces, like the Van Gogh one I have.
Are you
Spitting
being
image, Tony
sarcastic?
Karen.
Wait, are you being sarcastic?
No,
Are you doing sarcasm?
no,
You've got to
no,
be. Have you seen
no.
the David Tennant version of that? And you're
David
saying it looks
David Tennant's
realistic.
difficult
His
to.
eyes.
The David Tennant one's a bit naff, all right,
Right. Oh,
but
okay, is
other
he the
ones,
only one that looks like that then? Do the rest all look
yeah,
really
they've got a
realistic?
Nardole one where the face looks like Matt Luke.
Oh, okay, see, I thought it was a problem. I thought they were supposed to look like that, and I thought it was a problem with the new Shooty one that it looked too realistic. But if you're
No,
telling
they
me it's the other way
usually
round,
it's the other way around, Janie. The
the
Tennant
David
one.
Tennant one looks way too
Or they
cartoonish
maybe
then.
intentionally made it look a little bit more cartoonish
Why?
because, unsurprisingly, the David Tennant one is the one that they make the most of, and they would probably want a
Right.
softer mold for it,
Right.
make it easier. Anyway, enough talking about plastic. Actually, don't. No, no, wait. The Shooty Waxwork, which is the most
Which
realistic figure of Shooty,
which is
arguably.
not plastic.
And some of it might be plastic. I don't know.
Some of it
Uh,
might be plastic.
I don't imagine the entire figure is made of wax.
Do
I
you
think they'll
not?
get I think for like the bits under the clothes, they'll probably get plastic that's like roughly the size of the body or close enough, and then they'll waxwork the head and the hands.
Oh,
I don't know.
maybe.
You know what? I might visit Madame Tussauds when I'm in
Because
London
I
next
always
month.
assumed that the whole thing would be wax because they'd make like a mold and then just pour wax in it.
Would they
So it
just
would be the whole
cast the
body.
entire person's body? They just get them in a big tank.
No, I don't think they get them in a tank. I think they probably like sculpt them from photos. They probably sculpt it with clay or something,
A lot of them
and
will
then they
actually
make a
go in
mold, and
because
then they pour wax into the mold.
maybe that's
Well,
something that I'll find out at some point. But anyway, moving on to Rosa.
yes.
You enjoy this episode?
I really like this episode. It's definitely the best episode of the series. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
I
Um,
I share those feelings. Yes, I
I think
agree.
it's a really lovely episode.
I feel like it feels like a sort of what's the term? statement of intent for the Chibnall era.
Right. Yeah.
Even though it's 3 episodes in, it felt like this was them going, "We're gonna deal with these subjects, and we're gonna deal with
Mm.
them like this." Because
Yes.
one of my notes is that they do take the whole racism element very seriously in this story,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
so they should. And even though Doctor Who has, in the past, many times explored the subject of racism and even segregation, thinking back to, like, the mutants with John Pertwee and all that, they've never done it directly. They've always done it like
Yeah.
they haven't been as on the nose as they are in this story, which I suppose is just a sign of Doctor Who becoming in television, the world is becoming increasingly more modern and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I do think even though I really don't like this series of the show, this episode I did enjoy and still enjoy. Like, when I watched this episode for the first time, I went to bed that night being like, "Doctor's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine."
Right.
Uh,
And then we
it's
had
true though, it's just how I felt.
the rest of the series.
Then the rest of the series happened, and
Yeah.
I
And
am the
everything
broken man
else.
I am today.
I don't think you can blame that all on the Chibnall era.
I don't blame it all on the Chandler, I blame it all on
Just
series
most of
11,
it. Right.
Jamie.
I'm so sorry. Of course. Yeah,
The
sure.
wounds never heal. Uh, nah, the series. And most of my criticisms of this episode are less criticisms of the episode itself, like, and it's more criticisms of problems that ran through the series.
Right.
Like, for example, one of my notes is just TARDIS interior looks shit. Mhm. Because I don't like it.
I I actually don't mind the TARDIS interior. I
Alright,
quite
well,
liked it. I
I'll
liked the
allow you
crystal
I'll allow
look.
you to have that opinion, but can we
You'll
agree
allow
on at least that they don't shoot it very well in this series? Like, you don't really see it properly a lot because they really like doing close-ups in that interior, and they'd rather just have a close-up of Yaz's face, and you're like, "What the
Right.
fuck? What room are they in? What does it look like?" I still don't know because they never show it properly.
I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree. I love that TARDIS interior. They did change it, didn't they, between the two
They added
series?
stairs in series 12
Well, they
because one of the
did.
problems
They also
is
added the top of the console.
they did, but one of the problems is they just stand around really awkwardly on the TARDIS set because there's nothing for them to do except stand there when they're inside, so they had to add a bit of furniture for them to sit on. Like, you notice in series 12 when they added the
Sorry.
stairs, the 3 of like, Ryan, Graham, and Yaz just flock to that stair. They just sit on the stairs all the time because it's finally something for them to, like, do that
Right.
isn't
Sorry, have
standing
you ever
awkwardly.
watched the show?
I've watched the goddamn show.
Sorry, I don't understand what this is. I think you just hate it and you're trying to find reasons. Where
Maybe I
was the
do.
furniture in Tom Baker's TARDIS? Where was the furniture in
There was
Sylvester
only 2
McCoy's
of them in
TARDIS?
Tom Baker's TARDIS, and
Right.
they didn't spend a lot of time
What about
in
Harry?
it during Huh?
What about Harry? What
What
was,
about Harry?
what was that
Harry never
like?
got a scene in the console room. You never saw
Did
him
he
inside it.
not?
Think about it. No, he never did.
Oh no, of course, because they were holding on to that little bracelet.
They had the little
I'm
bracelet.
such
They
a
didn't need the
fan.
console room.
I'm such a fan. I promise I have watched it before.
I didn't realize until, to be fair, I didn't realize until a
I
couple of
just
years
never
ago
thought
where they
about
had
it,
this
to be
big
honest.
absence of the console room for the
Yes, of
early Tom Baker years.
course.
Like, if you want to get super nerdy, it appears once in John Pertwee's final season. It appears in Death to the Daleks, uh,
Yes.
in a really good scene, where it's like all atmospheric and creepy, and then it isn't seen again until Planet of Evil, I think. So way into Tom
Wow.
Baker's second season is the first time we actually see him at the console. Anyway, we're going off tangents.
Wow. I had never really thought about it.
Well, we're actually gonna be doing console rooms in the next
We
episode.
are. Good
We're
segue.
ranking
Good
them.
segue.
So if you want to hear more about what we think of TARDIS consoles, not just the Chibnall one, but all of
You
them,
already know what you think of that.
we already know where I want to put it in my list. If you want to hear about, actually, I don't know if it's my least favorite one in the whole show,
Oh my
but I
god.
definitely don't like it very much.
Okay.
Uh, but if you want to hear more, I don't think you do, but if on the off chance that you had a lobotomy recently and would like to
Nice.
hear more, then stay tuned for the
Oh
next episode.
god.
Uh,
Oh
anyway,
god.
back to this one. My first notes aren't actually about the TARDIS. It's about the first scene in the story where Rose is on the bus. See,
Mhm.
when you first watched this episode, did you think that that scene at the start was her sitting down, like the whole protest thing? Did you think that was it?
What, the first ever time I watched it?
Yeah, because the first scene is Rosa struggling on the bus, and there's a bit where she sits down on the white seat
Right.
for like a second, and the guy's like, "Get the fuck off the bus!" He doesn't say that exactly,
Was this the
but
post-Watershed version you were watching?
yes. But yeah, she sits down on the white seat, and it confused me at the time because I thought, is this them doing it already?
Well, I
The
think I
event.
probably thought when she was stood there at the bus stop and then she got on, I think I probably thought, "Oh, well, this'll be it, and then they'll be dealing with the fallout." I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
it
I
it
mean,
did confuse me.
this was 6 years ago. I don't remember what
Hmm.
happened last week.
For anyone informed enough, they would know that that wouldn't be the event because they actually have the date.
Yes.
That was in the 1940s. That first scene,
Oh, there we go
obviously the
then.
Rosa Parks thing happened in the 50s.
I don't
Uh,
know what I thought. I don't remember. I'm
well, I
sorry.
know I thought that because, uh, yeah, and it's a bit of an odd scene. I think it doesn't quite gel with the rest of the story. And also, the racist bus driver, James Blake, is also in that scene. That's like
Yes, he
12
had a
years
very
before the
long
rest of the
career
story.
with that
But they
bus
don't age.
service.
Neither of them age at all. 12 years.
They
They
don't.
look exactly the same.
They don't.
Like, the
Oh
hairstyle,
god.
everything is identical. So, it's a bit of an odd note to
Is she
start the
wearing the same
story off.
coat? She's probably wearing the same
She's
coat.
wearing the same clothes and everything.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Anyway, after that, we sort of get into the swing of the episode. One
Mhm.
of my notes is that because they filmed this in South Africa.
Oh, was this one of the ones they filmed in South
It
Africa?
was, but you wouldn't know it from watching it because they do a really good job of making whatever South African town they filmed in, making it look like proper Alabama, proper America. It does though. I think it might have been Cape Town they used.
Right. Sorry, I was still getting over that. Well,
Home
I knew it was
Alabama.
in England, obviously, but
Obviously.
I didn't think about where it
You didn't think
was.
they went to actual Alabama to film?
Well, I sort of thought, well, I can't imagine they did, but then I'd forgotten that they'd gone to South Africa.
We were obsessed with South Africa in the Chibnall era.
I know,
We
but I'd
loved
forgot.
going
Right, Gregor, I have no memory. We've just established this. I don't know.
but they just used it for fucking anything. Like, we need to do a scene where they're in a Greggs in in fucking Wrexham or something. Like, we'll go to South Africa to film that.
Right, yeah, sure.
Just use it for anything.
Sure. Sure, yeah.
I think the South African government would they must be just full of Hoovians. They're just like, yes, come here,
Yeah, sure.
come here
I'm
and film here.
sure they are. I'm sure they're full of
You never
Hoovians.
know. You never know, actually.
You
Uh,
never know.
but yeah, it's some good location
Unlikely,
work.
but
Unlikely, but possible. Good location work. The
yeah.
TARDIS landing scene looks really cool where it lands in
Mhm.
the alleyway with all the like what steam coming out of the vents and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
That looks cool. That's a proper TARDIS landing.
Mhm. That
Feels very
is.
reminiscent of the
We haven't
TV
had one of
movie
those
one.
in a while. It was nice to
Um,
see it again.
yeah,
A
I
proper
suppose
TARDIS
we
landing.
just a proper landing
Just
in
a
a
proper one,
alleyway or in a cupboard or
wheezy,
something.
yeah. No, it was
Who
nice.
knows? Who knows? You might be seeing something. And then, of course, it's the same prop as well, which
Yes.
feels because Rosa's getting on a bit now, like the early Jodie series in
Mhm.
terms of age, but it's the same prop, which is cool.
Yeah, it's nice, and I didn't like the prop at first, I was very vocal on that, but I really like it now, so it's
It's
nice
warm to you.
sort of I have warmed to it, I really
Oh
have.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
I think
nice.
it's my favorite new series TARDIS prop
Oh, yeah, I
exterior.
think I agree, actually.
And it's one of the reasons why I'm so pissed that when they made the figure version, they just reused the
Mm.
classic series sculpt.
Yeah, well, there we go.
There we go.
We'll get
Anyway,
over it.
um, we have the TARDIS team landing,
Mhm.
and that's where we sort of get the very what's the word I'm looking for? Um, the scene where Ryan gets slapped. Like it's
Yeah.
like the tone shifts
Mm.
like that, like a snap.
Yeah.
It's very powerful, I suppose, maybe is the
It's
word.
very powerful. I
Like,
sort of forgotten that that
in the know
happened.
if you weren't in
Yeah.
the know of what this episode was gonna be about
Mm.
at that time, which maybe not everyone was,
No.
then that, you think, "Oh, it's gonna be a happy, jolly, look, we're in 1950s America, rock and roll, Coca-Cola,"
Yeah.
uh, and then snap, racism.
Right, yeah, right.
That's the quote of the episode, and then
Oh
snap,
god.
racism.
It really was because I sort of as I was watching it, I thought, "Oh, this is the bit where he has that altercation," but I'd
Mhm.
sort of forgotten how raw that is to watch.
Because from Ryan's perspective as well, I don't like Ryan very much as a companion.
No.
Throughout his whole tenure, he felt not very well characterized. But in
Mhm.
this story,
He learned to
definitely.
ride a bike, though. He learned to
Did
ride a
he?
bike. Yeah, in the end, he
I
did.
seem to remember
Remember?
his final scene in the show being him falling off his bike yet again.
I thought he
And
learned to ride it, and then
no, he
Grace's
didn't.
ghost was there. Oh,
He was still learning
I'm
to ride.
giving
He
the
was still
character way
going.
more credit than he deserves then.
He was still trying to learn, but he had not
Oh, right. Well,
successfully
that's
learned.
disappointing.
There we go. But in this episode, you do, yeah, I suppose. Well, as you
Oh,
should.
yeah, of
They do make a
course.
point of it,
Yeah.
like this. From their perspective's the most important perspective, should I
Mm,
say, out of the
mm,
main cast.
yeah.
Uh, wouldn't it suck? Imagine if you did like a really nice thing for someone and they just smacked you. You know,
I know.
nasty.
It's actually, as I was watching it in preparation for this, it was
Hmm.
actually a scene that I really didn't enjoy even just sitting there and what like I genuinely there was something in me that just thought like, oh, I don't like this. Like
Hmm.
it's so raw and it's so sudden because we don't expect it. That's not the struggles that we have to deal with in life. So you just don't expect
Mm.
it and then all of a sudden it happens and you're like, "Oh my god." Like it really like stirred something in me that just thought, "Oh my god, this is horrible."
I would say as well, even though racism's still around,
Mm,
very still around, is not a grammatical term, but
mm.
even though it's still present in society, you don't get anything like that. No, we don't see someone just getting smacked like it was an everyday thing. Uh,
No, I hope not. I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, if
I
it
don't
happened in the
know,
street
but
today, you
yeah.
just saw that happening, people would not just walk back, like, even if they didn't interfere, they would look and they'd be like, "Oh, a thing that shouldn't have happened has happened."
Yeah.
There'd be that. But
Yeah.
that doesn't happen in this story because
Mhm.
it's a different time and, yeah, it's a good way of establishing that fact.
Oh, it's very
Uh,
powerful, definitely.
Very powerful. Anyway, we then get the cast meeting Rosa Parks in this scene.
Mhm.
That's a bit where I'm went, "Ugh," because when she introduces herself, they zoom in on every face.
I'm so glad you're saying
You're
this because
"Oh,
I
wow,
hated
look,
that
it's
bit.
Rosa Parks. Oh my
Are you
god,"
joking? Oh my god,
I
brilliant!
mean,
Like,
sure
shut
sure,
up.
like, sure the doctor might be like, "Oh, cool. Who's a cool
Yeah,
person?" But they really did go a bit overboard on
it's
that,
no, I
and
hated that. I
having
was like, "Oh
everyone
my
being,
god,
like,
shut
breathless.
up." Yeah.
You feel like Graham's about to, like, faint, you know? He's like, "Oh."
Oh, no, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I was like, "Stop. Stop it.
Yeah, that's so after a
I
very good
don't
bit,
need
there's
to
a
see
very
everyone's reaction
af
one
yeah,
after one after another."
I feel like that like, this is one of the things which criticism of the whole series, but it feeds into this story, is they do struggle to handle these many cast members in this story, or many main cast members. They're really trying to make sure everyone's getting a bit, you know,
I mean,
in
to
every
be
scene.
fair, I feel like it worked better in this episode than it did in most episodes.
Well, in terms of the plot, everyone does get something to do.
Yeah.
Everyone's involved, which is good.
Mhm.
And that is something this episode kind of holds over a lot of other early Chibnall era stories, because they didn't really fix that problem until they swapped Ryan and Graham for John Bishop,
Mm.
uh, quite frankly. But there are some shots in this story, or some scenes where they're desperately trying to get everyone in it, and it feels like
Ye
it is a struggle.
mm.
Uh, And sometimes you're like, "You don't really need to do it." You know, some Doctor Who stories, the cast will just separate and they'll just stay separated until the end of the story where they get together again towards the
Mm.
climax. And they
Yeah.
have their own, like, strands as they explore the place and they do
Mm.
the plot. They kind of forgot that. So for
Mhm.
Series 11, they're like, "No, you have to be in a room together all the time,
Yeah.
and you have to stand in really dynamic, like, positions."
Yeah.
Like that bit when they're in the car park and they're
Stand in
sort of
for
shaped in like a diamond.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh
they
god.
definitely took that shot being like, "Oh, this is trailer material, right?"
Yeah.
And it was the trailers
It
though.
was. Oh god.
Um, I could
Yeah, I
spend
get
a
what you
whole amount of
mean.
time complaining about the Series 11 trailers, but I won't because we
We'll
have
save
better
that for
things to
another
do.
episode,
We'll
yeah.
save that.
A whole
We'll have
episode
an
on its
entire
own.
episode on why I don't like the Series 11 trailers. But, that's just the point of this episode, is that sometimes even here, it does feel a little awkward with the 4 of them,
Mm,
a bit overcrowded.
yeah.
Um, anyway, we get to meet Krasko around about this time as well.
Yes.
What is it you described him as
I
earlier?
don't want to say it. I don't
You've
want to
written it, you have to
I don't wanna say it, sounds so bad. I'll just, explain myself first, that they picked a really attractive actor to play a racist, and that's
Yeah,
not
they
my
did.
fault.
It is
And
your fault.
me
It's
being
okay.
an intelligent person, I'm able to separate an actor from the role that they're playing because I have a really good brain. Um,
Mm.
so I one of my notes was hot space Nazi.
Well, is it Josh Bowman who plays Krasko?
Yes.
I'm a straight man, but I'm
Yeah.
concede he's got he's got a vibe on in this story. I mean, it's you know, it's not you know, he's got his swept back hair and his leather jacket.
Mhm.
You
Yeah, so
I've
anyway,
just
let's move on.
realised, did Shooty steal that outfit for the Alge of the Ruby Sunday?
Maybe you did.
Sitting in that TARDIS wardrobe being like, "You know what? Krasko had a bit of
How
a
did
thing going
how
on."
did Krasko's outfit get into the TARDIS wardrobe?
We'll never know.
Oh
That's
god.
how my
Anyway,
headcanon is that even
let's move
though
on very, very
alright,
quickly from my
we'll move on.
notes.
But there is a
I'm
point
just
there of
separating the
actor
actor
being
from
separated.
yes, because I'm very
That's a thing.
intelligent.
That's the thing that happened because even though I do enjoy this story and I have a lot of appreciation for it and respect for it,
Mhm.
the fan responses to this story were fucking abysmal when it came out. I don't know if you were on Twitter when Rosa came out,
See, I wasn't.
but God almighty, people just didn't know what to make of this story at
In
all. One
terms
of
of
the things
what?
I've already explained to you is about this really popular take at the time that it should have been a pure historical, and I think it couldn't have possibly been a pure historical. If it was, then there would be no plot, and if there's no plot, there'd be no episode.
Mm.
Uh, but in terms of Krasko, people were obviously getting a bit thirsting for that
Mhm.
dude. But other people weren't realize that, people are like,
Right.
why are they worshipping a racist?
Oh god. See,
Well,
that's what
worshipping a
people are gonna
racist,
say
they
about
just
this
think the actress
episode.
thought. They just think the actress thought it's okay. You know, I doubt
Oh
Josh Bowman's the
god.
racist. I think
I
he's
hope
probably okay.
not, because that would really ruin it. Um,
There was also people complained about that character because him being from the future means that there are racists in the future, and that in itself is a bad thing to be in Doctor.
I can see why people would not like that idea, but I feel like that's the whole point of the episode, and like those little conversations that
And
that
he is
that
very
Yaz
well
and Ryan
established.
have is
Raz.
like what Raz have, that they're
Mhm.
like, actually this still goes on. Like I feel like that's the whole point of the episode,
It
is that
is,
actually
but
like, yeah, things
also
are better, but people are
Krasko
still assholes.
is he's also portrayed very much as a rogue, as an outsider from
Yes.
his own society,
Yeah.
and he's an ex-convict and everything
Mm.
because he's racist, so from my perspective, that says in the future racists go to jail, which is
Yeah.
fine, and they
Well,
do go to
it's
jail,
yeah, good.
don't they? Good. Um, but yeah, anyway, we've talked about him a lot, considering he's not in this episode very much,
No, but he is in my
but
notes
I
a
do.
lot, so
Just in your notes? Okay.
he's just in my notes a lot.
To be fair, I do have his name down a few times, but it's a big point that he does serve an important he does play an important role in this story, and
Yes.
a lot of people seem to think he was an unnecessary addition. Well, I think even though he doesn't appear a lot and he doesn't have a lot of
Yeah,
screen
but it's
time,
Doctor Who, isn't it? You've gotta
it's
have a bit
Doctor
of
Who,
timey-wimey, spacey-wacey in
and
it.
you've got to have a bit of threat. Like,
Yeah.
I know there's threat from almost everyone in this story because they're all racist, but
Mm.
as in, like, they have to do so there's a problem they have to fix in this story,
Well, and it's like, the more
and
I
there's
think about
stakes. If
it
they don't fix it, things will go wrong, which
well, the
is
more I think
absolutely
about
key.
it, like,
Mhm.
it only really works if there's some sort of, because they got to where they were, where was, is it Montgomery?
Montgomery.
Um, and they're like, "Oh, this is the 10th time that we've tried to go back to Sheffield. What the hell?" And then they stay because of the Archon energy that they're picking up.
Yeah.
Like, unless they had to stay there because there was some danger, the Doctor wouldn't stay there with Yaz and
No.
Ryan when they're going through shit. Like, the Doctor would be like, "Well,
And even
if we
if,
don't need to
like
be here, we're getting
yeah,
out of here. Like, I'm not keeping you here."
and even if the TARDIS was stranded,
Yeah.
the Doctor would be like, "You're staying in the TARDIS because
Yeah.
it's racist," and,
Unless they
you know?
absolutely need, like, the Doctor wouldn't put them in that situation.
And
So,
I
like,
don't
it
see why
only really
Ryan and
works.
Yaz would want to go walking around Alabama unless they knew there was, like, because the whole reason they are there, and they
Mm,
choose to stick with Dr. Graham is because there is a problem that needs fixed, and they're like,
yeah,
"There's no way we're letting you do this on your own."
yeah.
So, the whole yeah, it's an
I
important
think
part of
it
the story,
works. I think it
and it
works.
works, and the
Yeah.
take I usually respect other people's opinions, but
Mm,
the take that this should have been a pure historical, I can't. I
mm.
can't agree with that. I just don't see how it could have been so. Uh, anyway, on the subject of, well, not on the subject, but kind of branching off from that, because you did bring it up. I've got here that the Razjai and Bin scene is good.
Yes.
I call it the Yaz Ryan.
Just the
Raz as
Raz.
well. Whoops.
The Raz.
But yeah,
Oh,
that
God.
that scene is good. And do you
Yeah.
notice they never have it again where it's just Ryan and Yaz bonding? They don't do it
No,
after
well,
this.
that's what comes of having 5 people in the 500
But
people
they
in the
like, even in the
TARDIS.
next series, they seem obsessed with trying to get Yaz and Graham to bond. They, like, keep pairing them up.
Yes,
But
they
Yaz and
do.
Ryan, obviously, I don't think there was any romantic, anything going on between them like that. But I did think that they should have grown closer
Well,
and
that's the
bonded
thing actually,
more,
because
you know?
this episode, I mean, when I was rewatching it, I sort of saw bits and I thought, oh, I can see why when the series came out, I thought they were going to get together because there are a few little bits where
There's a bit where she's
they're
like,
sort
"Oh,
of
did you just compliment
flirtatious.
me, Ryan?"
Yeah,
And all that stuff.
they're a little bit.
Uh,
Yeah,
well, it wouldn't be terrible if they got together, but
no.
this, like, they made a big deal early on about them being from the same school,
Mm,
and Ryan initially, like, being very apprehensive of Yaz and being like, "Oh, she's just a bit." I hate to bring in the analogy from Harry Potter, but it's a bit like, what's his name and what's her name?
that works. What
The
a
2
great
pals.
analogy.
'Cause Harry Potter's 2 pals hate each other and
It's
then they
two
end up
pounds.
bonding.
Right, yeah,
If
sure.
if I'd
What
written those
great,
books, it would be
great
Harry
analogy.
Potter and his 2 pals.
That's
That'd be the
great. That was
title
worth
of the
it.
book.
Oh
"Who do you
god.
think you are? I'm Harry Potter, and these are my 2 pals."
Two Brilliant.
Yes.
Oh god.
I it's a good scene, and I'm irritated that
It is a
they didn't
really
do
good
more
scene.
scenes with the 2 of them in later episodes. Uh,
Yeah.
this scene is evidence that they should have done that. Very
Yeah,
clear
no,
evidence.
it's really sad. It's such a sad scene.
It
Like,
is
you
because
just
they
feel
are
like
trying to
Ryan's
drive.
hope has just, like,
Mhm,
gone, and that's
mhm.
like, to see that for a character, that's really heartbreaking.
Yeah, but then Yaz talking about it as well,
Mm,
and she gives examples of things that happen in,
yeah.
the certain slur words that are still I've heard being used
Yeah, and
mere
I
days
love that
ago.
they didn't shy away from that. Like the use of language in this episode. It's shocking, but it needs to be, and I'm
Well, yeah, it needs to be.
really glad. Yeah.
I'm glad yeah. Uh, it would felt odd if they did. There's building work going on outside. I'm gonna close the window.
Oh, what are they building?
Certainly not building any fucking friendships. Pissing me off.
Oh no, what a shame. I feel like you should go out and make friends with them.
Well, I don't even see the building work, I just hear it,
Oh.
and I didn't know there
Oh.
was building work going on near me,
Oh,
but
okay.
there's definitely the sound of diggers and all of that.
I think you're hearing I think I'm hearing things. I keep on hearing, like, this voice. No, that
Is
sounds
it
really
is
bad.
it my voice?
No, no. It's like all of yesterday, and it's like a voice over a speaker out on the street.
Mhm.
And I don't know what it is. And I'm
Oh,
thinking there's a petrol station just across the road. And I'm thinking, do they have like little tannoy or something?
they
And
do tend to have
do
tannoys,
they?
and yes, they do.
Well, he will not shut up like the last couple of
Well, you I
days.
maybe
And you
there's,
never hear
like,
what they're
a
saying. It's like a DJ at a wedding. It's all muffled and you can never understand what they're saying, but I can just hear,
mm.
like, talking.
"Alright, guys, we're gonna be playing Spandau Ballet now,
That's
so get
literally
your
it. That's
dancing feet
literally
on."
that's literally it.
Oh, that's
Oh
the father of
god.
the bride getting his groove on there.
Brilliant. Oh god. That's your best impression yet.
Thank you.
It wasn't a
The
compliment.
one that was the one that was just, muffled
Yeah, yeah,
load of rubbish.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, um, my notes, like, I remember I said when I stopped talking about
Mhm.
Krasko. We're gonna talk about Krasko again because my next note's about him being not him, he's got a very original way of going about things in this story, if that makes sense.
Right.
he has no choice other than to it's the changing things little bit by little bit, because he can't
Mhm.
do a big plan. He can't
Yes.
really go on the offensive, so he has to go about very subtly and do little change things in little ways, like breaking a bus down and changing the rotas and all that. It's different from how Doctor Who villains usually go about their business.
Mm.
Refreshingly so. I every time I compliment him, it's like it's refreshingly racist. No.
Oh
I
God.
think in terms of the structure of things, it doesn't feel like they're going on any trodden ground. It feels new, but in a good way,
Yes.
which is what this series was kind of going for, and at least they hit the mark
On
here
one episode, yeah.
on one episode.
On one episode.
Well, I'd argue Women Who Felt Earth's okay as well, but
Mm,
another time. We'll
it's
talk about that another
okay.
time.
Yes.
Uh, but yeah, that's another note. I'm just going through my note. That's how we do reviews now. We just
Mm,
read off our
we just
phones.
read words that we've scribbled down.
I've realised that my notes are actually now out of order because my next note's about towards the end of the story. I'm like, damn, I
Ugh,
jumped forward quite ahead, didn't I? And I realised
bloody
below those
hell.
notes are more notes coming from earlier. I was thinking about Ryan wanting to fist bump James Blake and not wanting to
Oh.
fist bump Graham. Feels a bit weird.
But he was putting on an act. That's why he
But
wanted
what
to
if what if
fist
James
bump.
what if he when he stuck his fist out, what if James Blake was like, "Yeah, let's go," and he fist bumps him, and he's fist bumped a racist, you know?
I don't think that was ever on the cards, though.
Well, yet, God knows these people they don't make sense, Janie.
Well, they don't make sense, but I don't think all of a sudden he was going to become best friends with Ryan. I don't think that was going to happen.
What if Ryan accidentally changed the whole course of
Oh
human
my
history
God.
by accidentally
Oh my God.
befriending James Blake?
Oh my
He's like, you know what?
God.
I'm not gonna go along with segregation anymore. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, Ryan. And spaced as fuck.
Well, then that's fine, then, isn't it? There we
Mm,
go. Problem solved.
problem solved.
Problem. That sounded really flippant. I didn't mean it to. But you get my gist,
I suppose.
I
I
suppose.
suppose. Um. Anyway, we're gonna talk about Kraskow again. There's a more Kraskow notes.
Oh
Sorry,
dear.
we're just gonna keep coming back to him. Here's something that bothers me in this story, plot-wise. It's
Right.
a bit of a
Go
plot
on.
hole.
Right.
Around Kraskow. They find his stuff quite early on in the episode.
Yes.
It's like his weirdly placed suitcase in the middle of the empty warehouse.
Yeah, right in the middle of the.
Great, great place to stash his stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but once his stuff is recovered, once he's discovered, he doesn't move it so the Doctor can go back later on and destroy it all.
Right.
D
But
you know,
I
so she goes and
interpreted that so he chased them off, yes?
yes.
And then he leaves it because then he tries to shoot her. So I interpreted that as like bait, like she will come back for this. I'll try and shoot her, which he did, but then she sort of
I
messed it all up.
suppose,
But
though,
I interpreted that
I
as like
felt
I'll
like
leave it and
that
she'll come back.
that's maybe a bit of a risky thing to do because he loses he gets stranded in that time zone from
Oh, it's
doing that,
definitely
so
risky. Yeah,
it was just
but
if I just interpret it as a plot hole.
what an idiot.
But he's just an idiot.
Yeah. Well,
They didn't at least try and move it to a more secure location.
no, because I think it was bait, and I think I'm right on this.
Alright. Okay,
Okay.
fine. Anyway, after that, they get into the bit where everyone gets stuff to do. Yaz has to keep an eye on Rosa in
Yeah.
Taylor's
Mhm.
workshop and watch her repair the coat. Ryan gets to take out Krasko, quite rightfully as well. I'm glad that the Doctor isn't the one to defeat Krasko, and well, they all defeat him in a way, but the one
Mm.
who directly tells him to fuck off and shoots him is Ryan
Yes.
and sends him back
However,
to the land before time.
the land before time. However,
You're getting phone
I'm
notifications, Janie. You need to put your phone on
it's
silent. This isn't good
it's
enough.
Chris Chibnall saying,
Oh,
"How dare you mock my first series of Doctor Who?"
has he
I'm
just got in
sorry,
all
Chris.
capitals? Does he just tell him it was bait for
Yeah,
the doctor?
it
Just not
really
a
is.
plot hole.
There's emojis galore, honestly. Sorry, Chris.
Just
Um,
monitoring the call.
um, yes, I do like that it was Ryan who had that confrontation with him.
Mm,
However, if when they were in the warehouse and Krasko's stuff had been sent into the void and the
hmm
doctor had his little transportation gun thing, whatever it was called.
temporal displacement weapon.
Thank you very much. Why, like, she could have literally just sent him a week into the future and just been like, I'll see you in a week because by then all this stuff would have happened with Rosa. You can't fuck it up. And then
Or
we
he
don't
could
need
just
to
send
worry
him
about
back
you
to the future
ruining the
where
universe.
racism is illegal.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
enjoy. Sent
she
him
could,
a week ago when the riots were
but I
going on,
just
being
mean
like,
like no, but I
gonna
just mean
get
like
arrested.
by then
hmm
what he's tried to do, it hasn't worked.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, she could have
But
just sent him
that
away
was your point.
wherever. I don't care where, just anywhere. Sent him away, and everything's hunky dory.
It is a bit odd. I
It's
think
very odd.
in that scene the weapon like burnt out or something, and they couldn't. It was too hot to touch
It
or
was
something
too
like
hot.
that. It was like its
Right.
owner, too hot.
Right. Oh, very good, very good. Well, not the character. Big red flag.
Not a character.
But anyway. Oh
But
God.
yeah, and I'm guessing because we never find out what happens to him. I'm guessing that as soon as he got temporarily displaced, he just got eaten by
Dinosaur
a,
or
a
something.
stegosaurus or something. Not
Yeah.
a stegosaurus.
Well, it could
They
have
didn't
been.
eat meat. They don't
Oh,
eat
did they
meat.
not? Well, they could have attacked him.
Velociraptor.
Okay. Are you sure it
He
was
got
that
eaten by a whole gang of
specific?
them.
We could talk the whole rest of the episode about this.
Which dinosaur got its fill of
Which
Crasco?
dinosaur was it? Tell me. Tell me which one it was.
Well, I'm saying velociraptors.
Okay. Were they?
Yeah.
Where were Velociraptors from? Were they from America or
Well, they never specify
or?
if
You need to do
the
more research
gun
on this.
teleports you.
You
They
need
never
to do
specify
more
if it teleports
research.
you, or if it just
It's
changes you. Either way, as long as he was on a
well,
bit of
it's
land.
temporal. It's only time. It doesn't say
Yeah,
anything
well,
about
there
location.
were there were dinosaurs in America
Okay,
millions of
what
years
that
ago.
specific one?
There were many types of velociraptor. I imagine one of the
Whether
types of
I don't
velociraptor
actually
were
know. I just think you should do more research before you come on here. That's all.
right. Okay, that's fine. Uh,
Fine.
actually, I changed my answer. He got eaten by alligators because
Did
alligators
he?
were around in the time of the dinosaurs. So he got eaten
Right.
by them, and we
Right.
know that they were there then because they're still fucking there today.
They're
So
still fucking there.
they're
Okay. There we go then.
torn to pieces, and an agonizing demise for him.
I bet Velociraptors were in America then.
But maybe they were.
Anyway,
Anyway,
he was eaten by
um,
Silurians
oh
and
damn, yeah, the Silurians. It should have been them.
anyway, there
He
we
just
go.
appears in the middle of like their little city, and like, who the fuck's this?
But also, can I just say,
Yeah.
was he not sent back in time with his vortex manipulator still on?
No, it got stomped by the doctor. She
He
stomped on
was
it.
out an hour ago, so this is great. Right, okay. I
So did
must
I.
have blocked that bit out, sorry.
We've got it very fresh in our heads.
Well, not that
But yeah,
fresh.
obviously not. Uh, anyway, once Krasko is defeated, the only
Hmm.
thing left to do is go on the bus and make sure everything's okay. Which, once
Yes.
again, wouldn't have worked if it was a pure historical because one of the things about that scene which makes it what it is the distress from the whole cast and having to be there and
Mhm.
kind of play a role in Rose's
Yeah.
immoral arrest.
Mm.
Uh, and it's a very powerful moment, and Bradley Walsh does very good in it,
Mhm.
because he's kind of the focus of that scene, because he has
Yeah.
to be the white guy who needs the seat, or
Yeah.
apparently is, Uh, it's that's the moment that stuck with me in my head.
Mm.
Uh, Very good scene, very well played, and
Yeah.
I like
It is.
Jodie Whittaker's subtlety in that scene because she doesn't say or do anything. She's just got her head down, and you can see it's kind of irking her
Mm.
having to do all this, but she just sort of
Has to do it.
v yeah, has to do it, and it's
Has to
that
do
kind of
it.
thing where the
Yeah.
doctor sometimes the doctor is like, "I don't want to do this, but I have to,"
Mm. Yeah.
and while all the other cast are more bothered, she's in this she has this acceptance of it.
Mm. Yeah.
It's a very doctorish moment for
It
her.
is.
And I
It's like
felt
one of
that at the
those
time because
moments, like,
I was unsure, like,
mm,
as the era started. I was excited for her when she got, like, cast and everything,
mm.
but in those first couple of episodes, I was a bit unsure, especially with the Ghost Monument, but then
Oh, yeah.
here, with that scene, I felt she felt very doctorish, and I was like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Mhm.
It's a nice little moment for the dog. Well, not nice, but you know what I
It's not
mean.
as it's not sweet, but it's well done. It's a well done moment.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's very well done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that pretty much caps off the story, apart from the bit with the asteroid,
Yeah.
which you've got a really long note on, about a very descriptive note on the asteroid
Right.
scene, haven't you?
I have.
You do?
Oh, are you being sarcastic? Are you doing sarcasm
Yes.
now? Okay, I've literally written asteroid. Okay. I thought
Asteroid.
you were expecting me to actually say words, and I don't
No,
have
I'm not.
them. Okay, good.
But it's a very Doctor Who way to end the episode by being like, "Look, let's go and see this
Yeah.
asteroid that's named after Rosa Parks."
Mm.
Unfortunately, they also have an archive clip of Bill Clinton in that scene, which is a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, that maybe wasn't the best decision, was it? I'm sure they could
Yeah.
have, like, cut him out a little bit more, but
They even say it, but David's like, "Oh, look, it's Bill Clinton on the
yeah.
TARDIS scanner, wow." What if they
Yeah.
done, like, that zoomy moment where they're like, "Oh, wow."
Oh god.
Anyway, yeah, that one final gripe is no Doctor Who theme at the end, which I didn't like,
No.
because I like the Doctor
Okay.
Who theme,
Right.
and I prefer it's used every time. Please don't use
Do
other
you not
songs.
think, though, that it would have been a bit sort of jarring to have that really emotional end and then just all of a sudden Doctor Who theme?
Have you ever watched The Green Death, Janey?
It's not my favourite as well, you know. Um,
Okay.
I I just
Right, well,
I think it works. I'm sorry, I do.
you mean The Green Death isn't your favorite, or the
Yes,
theme
no,
thing
no, the Green
isn't your
Death
favorite?
isn't. We've definitely had
Well,
this
we
conversation
will
because you
have to.
hated me for it.
I'm afraid so, yeah.
Thank you.
That is
Thank
an
you for
issue that
saying
will have
that.
to be addressed in another episode. Horror of Fang Rock and The Green Death both being
Oh God,
scrutinized by.
please.
We'll explore it another time, and I'll put you on trial for
Yeah,
not
thanks,
liking The
thanks.
Green.
I don't doubt it.
What we
Including
have to
me.
do, though, is we have to give this episode our unanimous score.
We
It must be done.
do.
Uh, I think I'm willing to give it an 8 out of 10. It seems
Yeah, I
fair.
would say an 8. I wouldn't say more than an 8 because although the message is very important, I just feel like it was missing something.
This whole series was missing something, but
Well, I
we
didn't
did
want to
point out some
say.
flaws, and it's not like The Chase where the flaws give it charm. The flaws here, the
Right.
flaws here stick out a little bit, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's a very well-deserved 8.
It's
Definitely.
a well-deserved 8, and considering that the best episode in series 11 gets an 8 out of 10 is saying something.
Look, I'm gonna have him on that phone the second we finish recording. He is listening.
Right, we're ending this episode, I'm
Anyway,
sorry, it's
bye.
gone on
Yeah,
too long.
let's go.
Fucking bye.
Oh, bye. Go away.
Go away, Chris.
Go away.